10 secrets you missed in the Turning Red official trailer. Turning Red, the recently announced movie of Pixar and Disney that we're all eagerly waiting for right now. Turning Red is a beautiful, bright, and colorful movie that will sure amaze us like Pixar always does with their movies. This is the next movie of Pixar after Luca, and it also follows a similar pattern to it. They're both movies from different cultures. The last one was Italian, and in this new movie, Turning Red, we will be seeing a new and fresh look on the Chinese culture, something that we have never seen from Pixar Studios before. Turning Red will be a magical movie full of great and fun moments that will make us go through all types of emotions. Emotions that the main character of the movie, Mei Li, will also have to learn how to deal with and control. We see that the graphics and shining colors are also outstanding in this new Pixar movie. Turning Red will tell us the story of Mei Li, a 13-year-old girl teenager who, just like every other girl, is excited for her new phase in her life. She does and wears whatever she wants. She's happy and hungry about her future as a teenager. She's surrounded by amazing friends whom she has a fun time with all the time. Mei Li and her friends live the life of every adolescent girl. They like boy magazines, they're super fun, eager to explore the world as grown people, and as she says, nothing will get in her way. But one night while she's sleeping, she's affected by some sort of esoteric Chinese tradition about red pandas, and she wakes up the next day as a big, beautiful red panda. Of course, Mei Li doesn't think it's beautiful, and she gets scared and starts crying about her looks. Then her parents explain to her that their ancestors had a special mystical and esoteric connection with pandas, and this special trait of turning into a red panda runs in their families. Mei Li will have to learn how to deal with her emotions as a teenager because whenever she gets too excited or embarrassed, she poofs into a red panda. Turning Red will show us the story of Mei Li dealing with the new world of adolescence while having a beautiful beast within. But there are many secrets that you guys have definitely missed in the Turning Red official trailer. Secrets that you've overlooked and add more to the story than what we've seen in the trailer. So without further ado, let's get straight into the 10 secrets you missed in the Turning Red official trailer, guys. Let's go! Right at the beginning of the trailer, we see the shot of a tower close to the Chinese temple where Mei Li's parents take her to explain to her the Chinese tradition of the red pandas that they have in their ancestry. Does this tower actually mean something, Jay? Well, it does. This is the CN Tower located in the city of Toronto, Canada. It was built around the year 1973, and it was the tallest building in its time until the Burj Khalifa dethroned it in 2007. The tower was constructed by the Canadian National Railway, and since then, it has been a symbol of not only Toronto, but Canada as a whole. And since it's more than clear that this movie will take place in Canada for reasons that I will mention in the following points, there is actually no doubt that this is the CN Tower and the adventures of Mei Li will be taking place in the city of Toronto, inside a Chinese culture, obviously. In the second 10 of the second trailer, we see that Mei Li is talking to the camera, saying that since now she's a grown-up, she can wear whatever she wants, and right when she says this, she points at an object that she has pinned to her backpack. This looks like an object that's unreal and weird, an object that doesn't exist in real life, but it does. First released by Bandai on November the 23rd of 1996, the Tamagotchi was incredibly popular in the late 90s and early 2000s. The toy consisted of raising an animal egg into an adult. You had to feed him, shower him, play him songs, pet him, etc. to make sure that the pet didn't go to the next world. As petting these animals became more time-consuming and hard, the Tamagotchi stopped selling and production was halted. Even though they aren't as popular now, their impact was astronomical in the young generation of the 2000s. Hence, we see Mei Li carrying one in her backpack. One thing that was a mystery in Turning Red is the year that the movie will take place. Well, the adventures of Mei Li turning into a red panda will take place between the years 2002 and 2003. There are many secrets hidden in this movie that back this up. First, the Tamagotchi. Nobody before the 90s had a Tamagotchi because they didn't exist, and not after because the downfall started in 2005. Also, the Tamagotchis reached their peaks between the years 2000 and 2003. Secondly, if we go back to the movie's official poster and zoom into the chest of the red panda, we see the student stag of Mei Li, where we can read Mei Lin Li, student Lester B. Person High School, 2002 and 2003. This without a doubt confirms that this movie will be taking place in the year 2002 and 2003. After this scene where Mei Li shows her Tamagotchi, we see a shot of her instrument case filled with stickers that you probably didn't give too much heed, but they hide many secrets. If we look on this sticker right here, we see that it says Y2K A-OK. What does this mean? Well, the Y2K or the year 2000 problem was a coding error that was supposedly going to take place in the year 2000 and had everyone in the world, including world powers, nervous about the outcome. The problem was based on the fact that computers before the year 2000 had a coding error related to the calendar data. Many computers, after entering the the year 2000 were and actually did have an era where instead of showing the year 2000, they went back to the year 1900 because they weren't programmed for the change of the century. This error could have costed the world $600 billion, but in the US, it was tackled rapidly and fixed by the computer engineers. Here is a picture of an error in a computer that wasn't upgraded. Instead of showing the year 2000, it says 1900. Because this had a big impact in the year 2000, mainly has a funny reference in the case, saying Y2K A-OK, like goodbye, we don't care about you anymore. Then we have another sticker in Mainly's case that says, "Save the whales." This is because the whale population decrease was a huge debate between the years 2000 and 2005, where activists warned the new century generation about the whale depopulation because in the past 20th century, more than 3 million whales had been erased off the map. This worried the politicians and activists of the year 2000, creating a plan to halt the population decrease in the whale habitat because this was a big debate and it impacted the population of the 2000s. This is why Mainly also has a funny reference to this fact as a sticker in her case. Same thing with the littering sticker, which was also a big problem in the 2000s. It still is a big problem, but it was a way bigger one at that time, which we also see a reference in the second 21 when they're going through the hallways rallying for stopping the plastic usage. In the second 27 of the trailer, we see that Mei Lee shows her best friends a magazine of a fictional band called Four Town. She opens it in front of them and it glows in their faces because of how much they like this band. Well, this is a secret reference to the popular boy bands of the 2000s that appeared in similar magazines to this one that Mei Lee shows her friends. These boy bands were hugely popular during the 2000s, always appearing at the front of the popular magazines of the time, like NSYNC, that had guys like Justin Timberlake in it, the Backstreet Boys, and many other bands that girls were absolutely fascinated by and they liked so much. And if you take a close look at the headers of these magazines, they always said similar things to the things we see in the magazine of Mei Lee. Tween beat, and in the real ones we read smash hits. Very similar looks referencing the popular culture that dominated the early 2000s. In second 31 of the trailer, we see something very interesting secretly hidden in the back. If we zoom into the back of the scene, we can see the name of a coffee shop called Cafe Meme, which is the French word for coffee. In English, this would be meme coffee. This is an obvious reference to the popular piece of humorous content that is widely popular right now on the internet that we call meme. We can see this in the movie because the term meme started in the early 2000s, right when this movie is taking place. It started in different internet forums by putting funny text and pictures, funny characters, etc. Because the birth of one of the most popular means of comedy in this age was born in the 2000s, the director of Turning Red wanted to put it on the movie as a little secret hidden in the back. In the previous point I showed you guys about the CN Tower giving us an understanding that this movie will be taking place in Canada, but this could be a tower that looks very similar to the CN Tower and has nothing to do with Canada and Toronto. So are there more secrets that show us that this movie will be taking place in Canada? Yes. First, in the case that Mei Lee is holding, we can see a sticker of the flag of Canada, as clear as it can be. Moreover, in the second 22 of the trailer, we see that Mei Lee is joking around in a French accent. This is because the second language that is taught in Toronto and more parts of Canada is French, except for Quebec, which speaks French as a native language and has English as a second language. This obviously shows us that she's in Toronto, Canada in the movie. On top of this, in the minute 140 of the trailer, when Mei Lee turns into the red panda and then turns into a human again, we see that she's wearing a t-shirt with the flag of Canada in it. These hints finally show us that without a doubt, this movie will be taking place in Canada, specifically in the city of Toronto, between the years 2002 and 2003. In second 49 of the second trailer, we see that Mei Lee's mom is preparing her daughter a rice bowl with eggs. This is because this dish is very popular in the Chinese culture, boiled eggs and veggies inside a bowl. But why is this movie Chinese oriented, Jay? Well, because the director of the movie, Dami Shi, is a Chinese-born Canadian citizen and the director of the Chinese-oriented Pixar short film, Bayo. Dami Shi was born in China in 1989, and at the age of 2, she emigrated to Canada with her parents. In Canada, she learned animation and joined the Pixar team. She has contributed in a lot of films like Inside Out, The Incredibles 2, and Toy Story 4. So because of her Chinese descent and culture, she wanted to make a movie that enjoined these two nationalities that she grew up with, the Canadian one and the Chinese one. The result of this is the magical movie Turning Red. Turning Red begins with a little teenager called Mei Lee, who is very active, happy, and positive about her future as a teenager. Her life is changing as part of her adolescence years, and she's enjoying every single part of it with her best friends. But one night in her sleep, she's intervened by a Chinese esoterical tradition that runs in her family about red pandas. She wakes up, goes to the bathroom, and sees herself as a red panda. She gets scared, and her parents explain to her that this is a quirk that runs in her family. The thing is that when Mei Lee has a big emotion like excitement, embarrassment, happiness, etc., she puffs into a big amazing red panda, making everyone scared of her even though she's harmless. Mainly, we have to learn how to control these emotions that are maximized during the teen years to avoid being discovered as a red panda in front of everyone. Turning Red will come out on March the 11th of 2022 and will be the great new movie of Pixar that we will all bring our popcorn to watch. And well, my guys, that's all the dose of DJ there is for today. I really hope you liked this video and liked all of these amazing secrets you missed in the Turning Red official trailer. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one, my guys. Peace!